not open with that.
Could that be our cold open?
No, it should not. It will not be our cold open. I refuse. I point blank refuse that to be our cold open. And Rick, if you take that, I will never talk to you again. Right. Hello, everybody. It's your old friends at Monday Madness, and welcome back to what is the 10th episode of the Jelly-Filled Donut Podcast.
We're a decade old.
No, that implies we've been doing this for 10 years, which I don't think will ever happen.
Okay.
I'd like to think we'd have all moved on as adults.
I thought these were going out once a year.
No. It may seem that way
it
from
seems like that.
Yes, no, it's not. This isn't a fucking Halloween special every year, like, you know. Although really, we could do that if we wanted to. We have the power. But yeah, it's our usual. Myself, Jonathan, Bertbot, James, all in the room. Well, we've all got beers. We're all about to embark on another magical adventure into the world of Pokemon.
Happy out. Another fellow episode?
No. Here's the thing. Our next 3 episodes.
They're all killer. No jelly filler.
She has clearly had a mouthful.
Can you go? Can you just leave now? If that's
no,
alright.
would you prefer her doing this or sitting silently working on like an absolute beast of a song while we were doing
That's a real fucking Jonathan's choice, that is, isn't it? Like, you know, bad pun or bad. No, I don't know.
I don't even know what you call it a song.
It's just lyrics, like an attempt at rapping.
I did not attempt to rap.
No, because I
am well aware of my limits.
Yes, you're well aware of your capacity.
I don't think we had her trying to rap it.
No, I was just saying the words, and you yourself rap them in your head.
Yes.
Can we, at the end of this, just like go back to this and get that like added into the outro of the last one?
Yeah, absolutely. Like yeah, we'll try and like post edit it.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
even though that episode is already out at the time of recording.
Yes, exactly.
You know, it seems like the perfect time to add a PS to it. You know,
just like a one shot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a kind of the April Fool's gag reel or something. But yeah, no, our next 3 episodes are actually quite significant to the plot.
Ah, fantastic!
Because it's the 3 starter episodes.
Ooh,
Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle.
So 10 episodes in, we're finally starting.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, indeed. And here's the gas thing, right? Because like with these 3 episodes, I was thinking, okay, like we're gonna have a lot of fun reviewing the episodes because they're actually quite significant. We've got a few kind of like consistent themes, right? But I'm also gonna see like from our conversations, right? Because we're obviously gonna have to have this conversation. Which starter was actually empirically better than the rest? Because we do, some of us agree, some of us disagree.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like literally everyone else on Twitter listening to this will vehemently disagree with us.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to answer the question, which starter episode was the best?
Right, okay.
So we'll answer that at the end of the Squirtle episode.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to think we'll get to tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's time to jump into the Bulbasaur episode.
Let's do this.
Is called Bulbasaur and the Hidden Village. Just in case you're wondering what this episode is all about. Because there's literally only 2 things about it. So, our episode starts off with Ash, Misty and Brock wading through tall grass amid a big forest with Ash leading the way. It's been a recurring theme over the last few episodes that Ash is lost.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do literally is go to Cerulean City through Cerulean City.
Just stay on Route 24.
Pretty much. There's
no mystery to it.
No.
Stay on this road.
Yeah, that's it. Not even that though, right? There's literally a building that says Underground Passage to Vermilion City. There's a literal shortcut you could take, and Ash has literally just gone, wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because he's afraid of the dark. He won't go into the Underground Passage.
Have we established he's afraid of the dark?
I think he's afraid of everything, really.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense for Ash, really.
You will see that in a...
He's afraid of the dark later on.
Yeah.
He develops the fear.
Foreshadowing.
Yes. Emphasis on the shadow. So he promises. So Ash promises he'll get them back onto the main path, but an argument breaks out between Ash and Misty over Ash taking a shortcut and getting lost. Because again, this hasn't been happening over the last 3 episodes.
Him.
Yeah, exactly. Use your fucking.
He is not going to pay you back for the bike. Like, okay. In all fairness, let's actually take a look. How long has Misty been following him around for?
At least about a month.
Yeah.
In canon time, like about a month.
And has she not copped yet that he's not paying me for my bike?
I genuinely think she's just too stubborn to.
Is this kind of a Stockholm syndrome sort of a thing?
I mean, no, because she attached herself onto him. He didn't want it better for her.
But like, it's kind of now that like she's well, this is my routine now. don't want to leave
This is
it.
my life now.
Yeah.
My bike is ruined. I can't do anything else with my time. It's not as if
Yeah.
I have anything else going on.
It's not like
Yeah.
I stopped past home on the way here.
It's not as if I'm a gym leader in my spare time, I guess, apart from like being a failed swimmer,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm just not capable of putting on a fucking swimsuit. Apparently,
She's not pretty enough.
she's not pretty enough to rock
Yeah.
it. Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
like varicose vein or something like that, you know, pasty skin or something. She's the ginger, you know.
She's a ginger. in
She's
the
a
family.
ginger,
That's
end of.
pure,
That's her like life expectancy cut in half right there.
That's a career as a pretty girl ruined straight
Yeah.
away. Like you can find me one nice looking ginger. You can't. They don't exist apparently, according to Pokemon. So anyway, Brock intervenes and Misty asks to be reminded if they reach Vermilion City, which is kind of like a sticky jab, like, oh yeah, no, wake me up when we get there, you know, 3 years later. So anyway, they get to a clearing and they take a break. Ash turns and notices an Oddish drinking some water and gets the Pokédex to scan it. This is our first time seeing Oddish, but we'll follow back on that in the Pokédex at the end of the episode. Ash goes to catch it, but Misty interjects saying that she's going to catch it because you found it around water and water is my specialty.
Fantastic logic.
Is it logic? Is it just a...
Is she just trying to bring herself down to Ash's level of logic?
I mean, Brock is the ground type or the rock type
Rock
leader.
type, yeah.
If he's anywhere near a rock, does that mean that...
He just keeps
That
concentrating.
will come into play again in the future, so this is foreshadowing.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That Brock was suddenly gravitating towards that.
A
yeah.
rock.
Yeah. That's all he wanted.
He wasn't interested in the Charmander. He just wanted the rock it was on.
And indeed, there
I
was.
like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
You know, I was going to get the Charmander, but now that he's, you know, jumped off it, I'm not interested in it anymore. But that is a nice rock.
That isn't. Yeah, he's just there going like, "Oh, the Charmander's dead," but that rock is beautiful.
I could sell that to my dad.
He's not doing anything today, is he?
He's just thinking of the family business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, always thinking ahead, Brock. You know.
And so are we talking about an episode.
Exactly. That hasn't happened yet. No.
Okay, we'll splice this, put it into the next episode.
Don't give me any more editing to do. Shut up, James. Oddish is scurrying away as Misty brings out Starmie that obstructs its path. Starmie hits a water gun and tackles Oddish, which knocks it out. So Misty goes to throw a Pokeball, but gets swatted away by something. So the two look stunned as they notice a Bulbasaur snarling at them both, which is kind of a bit of a surprising thing to see on Route 24 of all things, where normally you'd see like a Spearow and maybe a Team Rocket Grunt. That's about it. So Ash loves it, right? He goes, "Oh my god, it's a Bulbasaur! What are these?"
He doesn't know what it is. He goes, "What's that?" And then realizes, "Oh, it's a Bulbasaur. Oh, wait a minute, that's my favorite."
Yes, exactly.
Like, how could you not instantly recognize your favorite Pokemon?
Instantly recognize one of the Pokemon you could have got from Professor Oak if you woke up on time.
I mean, there's the amount of Pokemon that Ash has seen that he didn't manage to get. And he didn't actually see a Bulbasaur, he only saw it on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So he actually hasn't seen this. And
He hasn't seen one in the flesh.
Yes, exactly. So
Might
can
have
you
it
blame
in-
him for not remembering?
I mean,
I have a card of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think he has at least one trading card. Just one. Maybe one he drew himself, like.
I mean, can you think of one that he didn't have to pull out the decks for?
In fairness, he forgets about a Pokedex a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Moving on. So, Ash obviously recognizes it immediately, scanning with the Pokedex. The Pokedex then explains that Bulbasaur are extremely tough and hard to capture in the wild.
Yeah.
Which does at least have some kind of consistency. You know, like they're starters. You're not supposed to get them in the wild.
Yeah.
And even in other games where like you can get starters as wild Pokemon, they're fucking impossible to catch. The
only ones I'm thinking of are the Friend Safari and X and Y. Is there any other game where you've been able to farm out catching?
Somewhat. There's like, again, the Friend Safari was a good example. There was a few like, shall we say, I think they were, Friend Safari was one. And I think there was another one in, what was the thing in Sun and Moon? The island scan. That was one. Yeah, the chant, like you can get like Totodile or Chikorita.
They were
in
tough
them,
to catch,
and they're tough ones to catch as well. You like,
Yep.
like you need Ultra Ball to catch like a level 15 Totodile, like, you know.
Wow.
They made you work for it, like.
Yeah.
And even in the stuff like Mystery Dungeon, right, in the kind of the peripheral games, to catch like the starters, you have to work that little bit more to get it. Pokemon Pinball, right? Weird one, right? But you can catch like things like Rattata and Pidgey easy through the game. But if you want a Bulbasaur, get your ass back to Pallet Town and get yourself a Bulbasaur. You know, so you have to actually work the board to get it.
Pinball is one thing I've never got playing.
it's a fun thing for maybe half an hour and you just go like, I fucking hate this. And you're playing it 3 hours later going, I still fucking hate this. But it was good for the Rumble. It came with its own Rumble pack. So you put a battery in it, it'll rumble your Game Boy.
Very good.
So that was kind of the gimmick for it.
Yeah.
My one, I still have my one, but it doesn't work anymore.
Aww.
Even when you put a battery into it.
Oh well.
Pity. So yes, the Misty. So Missy's Starmie gets tackled by Bulbasaur and it flies into her arms.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. So Ash jumps in then and brings out Butterfree to try to use his sleep powder. Bulbasaur blows it back, which is not something.
It's like dust.
Yeah.
Whirlwind.
Yeah, I don't know. He just goes. He just exhales, and blows it back at Butterfree, who gets drowsy. Butterfree is urged awake, but Bulbasaur just tackles it and just gets knocked lumps out of itself. So then Bulbasaur then scurries Oddish away and into the bushes, never to be seen again. And that's the end of the episode. So thanks for watching. And
Okay.
So Ash is upset that his chance of catching Bulbasaur is gone.
Yeah.
And we're all happy because Ash is miserable.
Exactly. Yeah. He'll never get a grass type now in the rest of this run. He's lost all hope of that type because that's the only grass type he knows of, and he's not willing to learn anything else.
Yeah. He didn't even, work on the Oddish being sort of grass type either.
No, he thinks it's a water type because it drank water.
Yeah.
Misty has convinced him it's a water type.
I think that was Misty's plan.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
You can't say it didn't.
No.
Ash triumphantly walks across a fragile wooden bridge, believing that there are tons of Bulbasaur waiting to be caught. Again, it's going to be a consistent theme of buckety bridges in the next few episodes.
Yeah, actually, no,
isn't there? Like,
Jesus, you're right. That it's like in every one of the episodes. Or
yeah, two of them. 2 out of the 3 starter episodes has a buckety bridge in it. Like you'd like to
even
think.
just it's such a trope in the show. Now that I think of it.
No, there's 2 tropes, right? There's wooden bridges and people getting wet. Those are the 2 things I've actually noticed. They literally half the episodes end up with people falling into pools.
There was a Buckety Bridge on the Clefairy episode as well, wasn't there?
The fairy, yeah. So that's 3. That's 3.
And people got wet because they fell into the river.
Yeah.
Oh, they had that one guy hired to be able to do a really good job of drawing wet people.
Yes. They're trying to get they're just trying to get as much worth out of him as possible. Like,
We only have him for like 10 days. Get him to draw as many wet people as possible.
Yes, I know that sounds weird out of context. Just go with it, alright? He's fucking expensive. So yes, as he does, Missy and Brock are more cautious as Brock tries to find it on a map. As he does, a crosswind blows the bridge sideways, with the rope starting to rip. Ash is clung onto one rope, Pikachu and Misty clinging onto him, while Brock wasn't so fortunate and slips right off the bridge into the rapids.
I still think that was Bulbasaur using Whirlwind.
To be fair, like, anything is fucking possible in this, like, fuck it, I'm willing to believe it. Misty tries to urge Ash to climb up, which he does, and like they're both like exhausted because he nearly died.
Yeah.
Unlike Brock, who rest in peace, rest in power, Brock.
Hi, Brock.
Yeah.
And like his weakness is water.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, he's weak to it. He's fucked.
Yeah.
Can he even swim in Canada? I presume he probably does.
I assume he can.
Yeah.
Don't think we've ever seen him say that he can't.
No.
So
I mean, he shouldn't be able to swim. Like, that would make sense though, as a rock trainer, But Richard reminds Ash after like a while catching their breath. Oh yeah, Brock's dead. Shit, yeah, he is. Let's go run after him and find his corpse. Which they do. They run down the path and start yelling for Brock.
Yep.
Ash turns around to see Misty is falling into a trap of sorts.
Yeah. Because
she tripped over a branch and basically fell into a pitfall. Again, pitfalls you're gonna get really fucking sick of come the 12th episode because they're literally everywhere. No one there's an underground passage from Cerulean to Vermilion because there's nothing but fucking pitfalls.
Yeah.
By various different people, all trying to outdo each
Pokemon.
other. And Pokemon, yeah. Honestly, I don't know what the problem is. So it's Ash says it's just not our day. Yes, between not catching a Bulbasaur, Brock falling to his death, and Missy then caught in the trap. Oh, it's just what a
Why
shame.
even bother?
What is this Pokemon training nonsense that we're doing now? So yes, Ash calls for Brock as they walk again across the path. Missy trips another branch, and all 3 of them get captured in a net hanging from a tree.
I wonder at this stage, had it been Misty who fell into the water, would they have even bothered going to look for her?
Probably not, to be honest. Like she would have survived. Clearly, like war's her specialty. Like of course she's gonna survive that.
It's like she's going to be reunited with her bike.
She finds a bike underwater and she just goes like, "No, lad, I'm good." And the story is a happy end. So Missy suggests to wiggle free, but that seems unsuccessful. Pikachu points downwards as the Bulbasaur appears underneath him, and it looks to be the same one. You can tell from its body language. Bulbasaur turns away as Ash demands a match from it. Because, the best way to demand a match from a Pokemon is when you're stuck in a trap.
Yep.
A shrub moves in the distance and appears as Team Rocket, his armed with binoculars. They mention a village on the other side of the bridge and rumours that are potentially true, whatever they may be. Meowth ends it by calling it a delicious little village.
So it's made out of biscuits.
Or chocolate.
Or Pikachus.
Or Whiskas.
Yeah, Whiskas.
Whiskas.
Yeah.
Cat food.
Yeah.
Just thinking ahead here.
With dreamies as the cobbles.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, got it.
There is actually a cat now just actually salivating listening to us right now. It's like that Homer Simpson thing, just a land of chocolate, just skipping away, just eating everything in sight. And then vomiting itself into an early grave. Ash and Missy are sitting in the net, pondering over what happened to Brock, because they can't get it.
Not actually doing anything.
They can't.
They're in a trap,
in
they're
it.
stuck. Can't do anything.
But again, fishing nets should be a specialty of Misty's.
Yes, you think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have at least some ability to cut through. If only they had a Pokemon that was able to cut through things, but they don't get that until Vermilion City. So womp womp. And even then they have to beat Surge to use it, so it's kind of meaningless in the end. So Ash thinks he was swept out to sea and caught by pirates, and then goes on about pirates and how he's going to be a pirate, and it's just there's nothing but pirates in this. Missy does say that he has a vivid imagination, as Brock appears down below and questions what they're doing up at the tree.
He's like, why is hanging around up there? Or it was something really stupid, and he's so calm and not and they're not yay, you're alive. It's just get us down from here, Brock.
All the goodwill he would have had from surviving his inevitable death was ruined by the bad pun.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fair trade. If you're presumed dead, you walk up and go oh, it wasn't me in the canoe. It's get the fuck out. Go away. You've been here dead 3 years, you can stay dead. So Brock cuts them down with a crash to the ground. Ash questions what happened to Brock, and he explains what happened. So he's being swept away by the currents, but a girl grabs his arm and pulls him out of the water. Brock compliments the girl as incredibly beautiful, while Ash is still stuck on pirates. He will literally not stop talking about pirates, questioning if the girl that rescued Brock could have in fact been a pirate in disguise.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no.
No.
There's no such thing as pirates in Pokemon games, I'm afraid to say. Well, Team Aqua, yeah. We'll count them. Again, they weren't discovered until 2002, so, bad luck there. So, Missy thinks it's time to get a reality check, which we think we can all really agree on there. Brock walks them to a hut by some water, kind of a little bit of a lake, and introduces Ash and Missy to Melanie, who was the girl that saved his life. Missy remarks on the Pokemon eating the food dished out to them, as Brock explains they're not Melanie's Pokemon per se, but a place where they can relax. So it's basically some sort of
I suppose them eating the food there kind of relates back to Meowth calling it a delicious little village.
Yeah, you can smell the food.
Yeah. Kind of makes a bit more sense now.
It does,
So it was cat food.
Yeah, it is.
It's either that or he's really eyeing up that Paris and going ooh, I haven't had mushrooms in a while. I mean, we are assuming that Pokemon do eat each other at some point, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There has to be a food chain.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, how else does Snorlax say that size?
Fruit.
Yes, fruit.
Wumpa fruit.
It's clearly fruit that makes him that fat,
Cocoa beans.
Yes. And good old fashioned lard. So Ash remarks Melanie's thing as a kind of a sort of a summer camp of sorts. Brock basically kind of explains further, saying that if any Pokemon that get hurt or abandoned, they can come here, Melanie heals them up and then brings them away. So Missy again kind of gets the wrong idea again, saying, oh, it's a Pokemon Center then. And Melanie goes, no, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
Perfectly legit.
Yes. I do practice medicine, mostly on cats. She just basically says, I'm not qualified to be a doctor, but I'm just being very nice.
Yeah. She's
But I'm trying.
Holistic healer.
Yes, she's one of those fucking homeopaths.
New age.
Yeah.
New age.
Crystal fuckers. Yeah. I think that is what they do to crystals, right? They just fuck them. Right in if you're a new age healer.
I'd have to imagine she's like really into acupuncture, so she just has a Jolteon that uses pin missile.
Yeah, something like that.
This will either help you or hurt you.
I'm trying to think. What would be the best Pokemon for new age healers? Like, you know, is anything like crystal oriented, homeopathy?
Butterfrees, because they have the like sleep powders.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, a lot of pollen. People love pollen.
Love it.
Ooh, that is a good Poliwhirl, because you just like use hypnosis.
That'd be drowsy or hypno.
Drowsy or hypno would be able to. No, hypno would be the best con artist. He'd be able to go, oh, look at this, buy this shit. You know,
Mr. Mime, because it's all
fake.
Yeah, and Jinx.
Jinx, yeah.
Jinx would be like Jinx has actually got like her own cult.
Yes.
Of new age followers.
Jinx would be like the voodoo queen.
Yeah.
She'd be like fucking Laura Lavelle or whatever her name was, the voodoo queen from New Orleans.
In New Orleans.
Nolans.
Anyway.
Yes. Sorry, just every now and then we have to do a Tim Curry impression. It's by law, I'm afraid.
Yes, you definitely knew it was Tim Curry, didn't you, listeners?
Yes. I mean, who else says Nolans like
this?
Yes. So Brock then kind of tries to actually explain what this place is supposed to be, and it's more of a health spa. That's the whole point of it. Melanie collects plants to help heal the Pokemon. She brings out the food, that sort of stuff. Ashley says Brock would love looking after Pokemon with Melanie. Well, Missy suggests there's more to it than that. Which makes Brock blush and flail around. You know, the usual things that a sexually impotent man would do.
More of Brock being like a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
That's putting it back.
Let's just call him hopeless for now, shall we?
Spastic, okay.
Yes, exactly. So he flails around and then covers Misty's mouth, telling her to be quiet because Melanie might hear her, which is totally not suspect at all. And any of these kind of like these visuals of like Brock threatening Misty to be quiet, you're gonna have to get used to that for this episode because it happened several times. So trigger warnings, I guess. But for now, we have an ad break, which leaves us.
Who's that Pokemon?
Who's that Pokemon?
Yes.
No, yeah, you're supposed to do, or else I can't do the jingle.
Do.
Thank you.
There we go.
Jesus, someone's really not on the ball today. Like, I know it's the first podcast today. We're coming a bit raw. I know you have to understand. So yes, guys, you know the drill by now, right? We're not sponsored, so we have to do our own Who's That Pokemon section, which means that one of us is going to read out the dex entry of a Pokemon from the first generation, and our other two have to guess it.
Cool.
It's my turn this time. Because I have to start recovering. I was doing really well, and then I bottled it, so now I have to...
What are the scores right now?
The scores right now, James, I'm glad you asked, because I'm sure people are needing to know. You were actually leading 15.
I'm leading?
You're leading, yeah.
Oh my.
I know. It's almost like you didn't know that before asking that question. Burtball, you're only 2 points behind on 13.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm on 10.
Yes.
And I have no chance of gaining you guys until later. So
I can solidify my lead if you
get this down first time, you can, yeah.
Right, okay.
So,
but I get first call on this.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because you're lower points.
Yes.
I'm glad that we actually worked out that
rules
this
time.
Like actually, 7 or 8 episodes in, let's lock this rule in, you know. Fuck it. Mid-season changes can happen. So, the next entry for myself is: lives where reedy plants grow. They are rarely seen, so it's thought their numbers are decreasing.
Reedy or weedy?
Reedy, as in reeds.
Okay. I'm gonna go crabby.
Crabby, okay.
Do you have any reason you're thinking crabby?
Reeds grow near water.
Okay. So will I be able to edit out all this dead air?
No, this is the most exciting part of the podcast so far. I think all of our friends will agree on that.
Yeah. Trying to think who's kind of seeming in the games to get rarer or that isn't as common, and think that might be the key to
yes.
Dun, 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 dun. You know what, I'm just going to try it Goldeen.
You're both wrong,
I'm
afraid.
Okay.
In terms of location, it cannot be caught in red and blue, but can be caught in yellow on Route 12 and 13.
Oh, okay.
This is no help
So
to
this
me.
is only for 4 points here, lads.
It can't
Can't be caught in red or blue.
red or blue,
Yeah.
but can be caught
In yellow.
So I had yellow.
Yep.
Route 12 and 14,
12 and 13.
13 mean nothing to me because I just know them as roads.
Yes.
Okay, I'd say let her know where Route 12 and 13 are.
It's I think if I remember correctly, it's the ones between Fuchsia City. If I remember correctly. Like Lavender Town to Fuchsia City are Route 12 and 13.
Yeah, okay, so
Long ones.
yeah. You got the chefs, the fat chefs.
Fat chefs.
Fat chefs.
They
Fat
look
chefs.
like fat chefs when you're battling them along.
Oh,
Sailors.
yeah, the sailors.
But they look like chefs.
Yeah, yes, Burkbot, they do.
Fair enough.
Do.
She's fucking lost it.
Fucking hell, I don't know. This is a good one.
Blind Stopped
Paris.
Paris.
So if it's only available in yellow,
Yeah.
but not red and blue, that means in red and blue you would have had to have gotten it through trades, like the in-game trades. So
This is where his specialty comes into play. I'm fucked.
the kind of ones that you'd be talking about would be your one guy trades you a Polyworld for a Jinx, I think at one point. No, it was like an Abra for Mr. Mime was
Right.
one.
Okay.
Another guy trades you a Spearow for a Farfetch'd.
Mm-hmm.
What other in-game trades are there?
There
There's
is
the
a-
guy in Cinnabar Island, the Pokemon Mansion,
Yes.
or like the research lab who
You,
does
you
another
can get
trade
drinks
there.
through trading as well.
That's a Voltorb and Raichu, or Raichu
Yeah.
for a Voltorb, I think.
Yeah.
Is that trade?
There's a Dugong you can get traded as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Cinnabar Island as well.
Oh, I didn't know there was two trades there. I'm going to go with Farfetch'd.
You want to go for Farfetch'd? Well, one of you is correct,
Yeah.
and the answer is Farfetch'd.
Yeah.
Yes, Farfetch'd is there. You actually worked it out really well. I was hoping to catch you out with the trades, because you can get it in yellow, but what do you mean you can't get it in red or blue? That's weird.
That was a good clue.
Yes, no, I'm
Good clue.
I was hoping to get at least take points off you. That was the main goal of this. So mission somewhat accomplished. But obviously, James, that means you can't be caught in the next round, regardless of what happens.
Fuck's sake.
So you're going to be in the lead until at least
But
episode 12.
I'm next up.
Yes.
As far as I'm not in any danger of being caught.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So again, you have a choice of who you want to be as your contender, bearing in mind that you live currently with one of us. So,
And if I don't let her win, I'll be living with the other one.
you can fucking think again. Yes, back to the show then. So our scene starts with Ash questioning who set up the two traps they triggered. Clearly, it's Team Rocket. Can only be who else do we know? Sets
Who
up traps?
else makes traps? Yeah.
Melody did it. She confessed to it. Now I don't know where she learned that. This is the other question.
Maybe
CIA
she
shit.
is part of Team Rocket.
Is she like their rehab, their convalescence wing maybe?
Yeah,
You
because
know.
they can't go to Pokemon centres because they've been banned because they're just trying to steal all the Pokemon.
This is where they'd go to basically get brainwashed. So they're getting brought here, they're getting drugged,
Hypno
and
comes
then
in.
they're going to be resold on for a profit.
Jesus, yeah. I mean,
I think we cracked this.
I didn't realise there was such a conspiracy over Melanie, but yeah, fair enough. Like, okay, we can add that to the files.
What would Jesse and James do with Pikachu once they have it? Do they think they're just going to take this little yellow rat and put it down on Giovanni's desk?
I mean,
Here you go. It's like going to attack us right now.
I don't think Jesse and James are the best example here. I'll be honest. I mean, let's take it to the actual Team Rocket people.
Okay, Butch and Cassidy, so two
Yes.
that are actually competent.
Because they're competent ones, yeah. So
After they get them, they put them in cages. They have them. They are holding them aside to prepare them to be sold on.
and
I don't think Jesse and James have that kind of infrastructure set up.
No, I don't think they have anything set up as their problem. They seem to kind of again, much like Ash, tend to try and wing everything and do with mixed results. I think it's fair to say. But
I do think Jesse and James are there because it's more expensive to fire them than to keep paying them.
they're the tax
things.
sink. That's the way I would kind of propose it. There was a bit of like conjecture like a week or two ago on Twitter about what was the actual use for Jesse and James, and we had there's a few decent candidates. Like I choose to believe that they literally are just there to use up the budget. Like Team Rocket are so good at saving money, we just have to spend it somewhere, or else it goes to the tax man. So
I'd say it's a case that the severance package that they would get for getting let go would be more than what their yearly salary is.
I feel like both of their parents would be very like hoity-toity, well-known people, and like Team Rocket.
Jesse's mum was Team Rocket.
They have to do the favour to the parents by, like, you know, these kids aren't going to survive in the wild. They're not going to be able to hold down a job normally.
Yeah.
So
well, James
this is
nuts.
literally.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean you have to kind of keep him contained as best you can.
So is that, are they
is
looking to
Team
get
Rocket.
the James's family's fortunes?
Yeah.
Is this like a plot to, right, we'll take on the idiot son, we'll put a piece of paper in front of him when his parents are dead that signs over all the rights to us.
Yeah. We can we get James to change his next of kin to Giovanni? Is that something we can do? We can try it. He is stupid enough to fall for it.
Legally, I think he did marry me out, so...
No, he married Weeping Bell.
Oh.
Yeah, not a great marriage in fairness, but symbolic at best. Yeah. So yes, moving on back to the episode. So Melanie confesses that it was her that set up all the traps to basically catch Pokemon trainers before they got to the village, because she doesn't want trainers to basically come in and catch the Pokemon that are injured.
Yep.
She's obviously relieved to see that they worked. Again, not the best examples considering, okay, actually it was Misty this time that tripped them up as opposed to Ash.
Yeah.
Ash was actually relatively decent here, not being an idiot. It was Misty that fucked up.
I still think he could have, used Pidgeotto to get them out of the trap.
Oh, I think there's definitely means and ways around it.
There absolutely was. He did not need to wait that long to.
They were
get
just
out.
so devastated from losing Brock. They just couldn't. That part of his brain just switched off completely.
He could at least have left us his Onyx.
hey, when we get down from here, I'm totally nicking a stereo. Melanie then, Melanie explains to Misty that she's trying to protect all of the injured Pokemon that's in the village from trainers who just come in and catch them. Ash then realizes, was the bridge trap true too? No, that was just pure negligence. But, I mean, to be fair, with the pitfalls, grand, they're a bit comical. The ones in the net, fair enough. But a broken bridge, that's not a trap. That is just that's trying to kill somebody.
Or
I mean, you really don't want to get caught.
If you can get across it, okay, then, that's fine. And since you're the only one who'll need to cross it, that's fine.
She knows that she doesn't use that. That is a decoy
it's like
bridge.
Road to Nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Road to Nowhere in Crash Bandicoot. The planks that you can land on. That won't cause you any trouble. Oh,
I see. So people like Ash will be foolish enough to walk on the planks and fall to their death. But the real smart trainers, like Gary and the other Palatron trainers, they walk on the ropes.
Yes.
And glitch their way to success.
That is how
Absolutely.
you do it, yes.
Fucking geniuses, man.
Yeah.
Absolute geniuses.
Have your Machamp throw you over the water.
Machamp, seismic toss. Yeet! I can imagine just for some reason, that's the replacement bridge system in the Pokemon universe. This is a Machamp with a good fucking long arm throw
and a Snorlax on the other side.
Yes.
To land on.
Yeah,
exactly.
So we're gonna put you on the Machamp now. I must ask you to take your shoes off before you go on because it's Snorlax. We don't want to fucking puncture the guy. So if you don't mind. Yeah.
No ga boots, Burkbot.
Who brought that flute? We don't want to waken up.
Yeah. We actually do have a rule on not playing the flute mid-air. I know we shouldn't, but it happened once, so you have to write it down. It's really complicated.
And of course, you'd be the one who'd try to throw the Pokeball at Snorlax as you're about to land on him.
Hey, opportunity strikes in many ways, James.
This is what separates me from Ash.
This is basically Burkbot's using takedown.
Yes, exactly. We see as Ash realizes the bridge is the trap, we see Jesse and James shimmying along the torn bridge.
So they know how to get across.
They're trying to. Well, the bridge is already fucked. It's sideways at this point.
Yep.
So they're actually trying to shimmy on the edge of the planks with the ropes, and they think they're doing well. In fact, they're trying to plan ahead here. So how we're in peril here. Yeah, we need to try and figure out how to catch all the Pokemon and bring them across here. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Oh.
Sit on coughing. It'll float you across.
Again, what should Rocket do in this situation? But they keep thinking about this. But Meowth says that actually Meowth nicked my pun there. I didn't realise that both of us came to the same conclusion there. Shit, I wrote this 2 days ago. What a fucker. Right. So the bad pun obviously tears the rope that holds the bridge together, sends the bridge hurtling to the cliff face, and Team Rocket float down into the water below. So yes, 3 more deaths we can rack up to this very irresponsible fucking nurse.
Yep, not nurse.
Yeah, well,
Not
she's not strictly
legally not nurse.
Literally not a nurse.
Her name isn't Joy, so she's not legally allowed to be a nurse.
Yes.
She would not change her name.
No, she definitely not. By
That's
default.
all it would take.
Yeah. Yeah, that and just dyeing your hair, you're more
Yeah.
got it covered, like, you know. So yeah, we get back to the camp then, and back with Brock, who said he promised Melanie they wouldn't catch any Pokemon while they were here. So that's been everyone kind of agrees to that as well. Missy asks if he sealed the promise with a kiss, and Brock hits her on the top of the head.
Yay! Violence!
Violence against women. Well,
I mean, she was asking for it.
Your Honor. Yeah.
She
So
provoked him.
yes, I'm just gonna keep that for my collection. Just just in case, like, you know, I want to like come pin one of you fuckers for something. Just like I'll keep that there, just for my collection. I have one on everybody, lads. Don't worry about it. You know, this is blackmail is my hobby. You know. So yeah, Misty sees that as proof that he really does love her. Again, this is another part of the mini arc in Pokemon, which is Brock's sexual awakening after being repressed for so many years.
Sexual nightmare, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Brock hits her again for realizing that he has a stiffy. So Ash reluctantly agrees to terms of not catching Pokemon, because again he's there looking like, oh, Oddish, Paris, Magikarp, Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
He's just there, just has his hands in his
things
pockets.
I can fail at catching.
He's just there with his hands in his pockets, going like, I'm okay with this. So Missy states that only bad guys try to capture sick Pokemon. Where Ash goes, am I the bad guy?
He'd never be that self-aware.
He wouldn't. Ash asks if the traps are tough enough to keep robbers out.
Hurt is fine. Sick, not fine.
Very different, yeah. I'm glad that somebody taught him that before he left Pallet Town. Ash saying that you need to be idiots to fall into them, as Misty like fumes in the background.
She said this is our first ever fall into a pit trap. How many has Ash done in this series so far?
She's going to start keeping score.
Yeah. This is the start of the tally.
Exactly.
There should be a tally, actually.
There should be a tally. Yeah.
Drink every time there's a pitfall.
Oh no.
Drink every time someone falls into water. See how much that guy's getting fucking paid. So then we cut back to Team Rocket, who's falling into their third pitfall of the day. Jesse vents that no one falls into their traps, while James, at least to his credit, admires the craftsmanship behind them.
Yeah.
So Melanie has at least like worked on it. Again, Melanie might be going to the same school of pitfalls that these two guys are. She was the top of the class.
This all points to her being Rocket.
Yeah. See, like such a secret Rocket that even Rocket don't know about it.
Yeah.
Like a sleeper Rocket.
Those two from Rocket do.
Yeah.
Don't know, like.
That's true, yeah. Like
probably everyone else does know.
Yeah, like if Butch and Cassidy walked in, they'd have like a secret handshake or something like that.
It's probably a case that they're told, okay, once you get a Pokemon, you call this number and they'll tell you where to go.
We'll send out 2 of our agents.
But no, they just never managed to get to that stage where they call the number and are told, okay, Melanie's place.
The secret village. And then someone like sits on a park bench with a newspaper and says, I hear the summers in St. Petersburg are lovely this year. It's like,
where's St. Petersburg?
The guy's never been to St. Petersburg.
It's like, sorry, I hope you have a nice day. Melody walks off in her fucking overcoat and hats. So after they get caught in the net, they try to squirm out of it, and we just leave them at it. So we go back to Brock dousing Staryu with some river water, because again, homeopathy, lads, it works. Missy apologises to Oddish for trying to catch it. Missy explains that Oddish was Melanie explains that Oddish was abandoned by its trainer for being too weak, and tries to reassure it that not all trainers are cruel. You just need to find the right one. So this is kind of an ongoing theme for this 3 starter episodes anyway. That sometimes, at least in these cases, Pokemon trainers are bastards.
Yeah.
And they just not necessarily release Pokemon, they abandon it.
Yeah.
Maybe not all children should be pet owners and given carte blanche to do whatever the fleck they want.
It's almost as if it's a bad idea to let 10-year-olds walk around, just wander unsupervised around the land full of dangerous creatures that they could somehow domesticize.
No, it can't be that.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I am just being silly there.
Yeah.
So yes, Misty starts apologising again and asks if they can become friends as she starts welling up. Oddish wipes away a single one of Misty's tears, which I think is the most emotion we've seen outside of anger from Misty. So, character development. It's all good. She explains she can only think about winning, afraid she's becoming heartless. Again, this is all part of the psychology of a Pokemon trainer, They want to be the best like no one ever was. But what about the humanity? No one's ever...
That's the real test.
That's the real test. Good, carry on. So yes, Ash interjects that she's always been heartless, which Misty goes, "Shut the fuck up! I was being sensitive!" The great thing about this, her screaming at Ash makes Bulbasaur tackle her from behind.
Yes.
He was like, "No shouting!" Which again was kind of funny. Misty chastised the Bulbasaur, saying it was rude to tackle from behind because that never happens in Pokemon battles. It's such sporting.
I think that's just a general thing in life. To be tackled from behind isn't great.
No. She says, being tackled by my dog on the way in.
Yes. Not great.
No. She does have a very good ability of taking you out the back of your knee, doesn't she?
Yeah, just
she's
right
really,
into the back of the knee.
She's really
gone.
good at that. Yeah. She knows how to take
She
people
doesn't
down.
bring you down to her level.
Yeah, she does that. So yes, Ash agrees then it was Bulbasaur's... It says Bulbasaur's annoyed because Ash was going to win and it chickened off, whatever that means. Misty agrees with his assessment. So Misty immediately just turned on Bulbasaur here because it got tackled. She got tackled by it.
Yeah.
So Ash...
Immediately on the defensive, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ash taunts Bulbasaur by seeing how tough it really is. As Ash is about to grab a Pokemon, all Melanie jumps in. She explained that Bulbasaur is trying to protect Oddish, saying it volunteered to protect all the injured Pokemon and the village. So, curiously enough, Bulbasaur wasn't actually one of the abandoned Pokemon. It just happened to just live around the area.
Yeah, like vigilante
justice. Yeah. it's like one of those guys who's kind of like if you knock 3 times on the door, Bulbasaur appears.
Yeah.
Just
I hear St. Petersburg is lovely in the summer.
Bulbasaur. I see you finally arrived. Here is the situation in Stalingrad.
So could Bulbasaur be working for Team Rocket then?
He's an undercover agent this whole time.
Yeah, if you actually uncovered a bulb, it's actually Danny DeVito in costume.
In that episode where Bulbasaur was going to evolve, you can just see Danny DeVito crawling out of the bulb.
Like Frank Reynolds coming out of the
yes,
couch.
That's exactly what I was alluded to.
Yes.
Just,
thanks.
Just for everyone at home to get that visual.
Just to give Jonathan a bit of editing work if he ever wants to get a picture thrown together for this.
This is audio form, and Rick Nash is going to do all the hard work. I've done my bit. Let him do that.
Frank Reynolds, naked,
yes.
Oiled up.
Rick, are you writing this down, yeah? Yeah? You writing this down?
Crawling out of Bulbasaur's bulb.
Yeah, you got that? Cool, yeah. Okay, we got it. Excellent. So basically, so again, they all come to the realization, Bulbasaur's not a dickhead, he's just being protective, he's just misunderstood. Aww. Which is kind of like, that is his personality, I guess. And Missy goes, that's why it assaulted me. Protectiveness.
That's okay.
That's fine. During all this, Bulbasaur is doing a stop that Mr. Simpson to Ash.
Yes.
Which is kind of like, fucking prick. Hate you. Which Melanie explains is because it doesn't like Pokemon trainers and wants you to leave the village. Just you, Ash.
Yeah.
Missy, Brock can stay.
But at least, Ash gets that reassurance that a Pokemon thought he was good enough to be a trainer.
That's true, actually, yeah. That's good. No, do you know why? He flashed the badges at Bulbasaur and he just saw red. It's like, 2 badges? You?
This whole thing's a sham.
Gods. Despite Missy saying they're not going to catch anything, instead saying they want to help the situation, so Melanie tries to reassure it, as Ash calls it, brave, and would really want a Pokemon like that.
Aww.
Just so, now we're just going to try and sugarcoat it. That's what's going to happen. But, as it happens, a hot air balloon contraption appears from the clouds as Team Rocket stand on top of it and exclaim their motto. I'm going to ask here, where exactly were they hiding that? because they had to climb over a bridge to get that hot air balloon.
This is Melanie's hot air balloon.
There we go.
Oh, that's how she travelled around to put the traps up.
Yeah.
They hijacked it.
Yeah. Local operatives in the area.
Yes. So Melanie in her inflatable stadium.
You just go up to one of the guys talking about Stalingrad this time of the year, and they say, "Okay, your hot air balloon will be here in 20 minutes."
The hot air balloon. No Snorlaxes. I understand. They gloat about the village being theirs for the taking. The village no longer having the home field advantage, and James saying that this is his scheme. So his idea of having this inflatable stadium, basically, and basically invading the town by being bigger than it.
Yeah.
General matter, it's not an actual town or village. It's one hut by a lake.
Yeah.
That is not a village. Like, I'm sure.
It's well defended, though, as we're about to find out.
Yeah, well, that would be neither here nor there, James. For a village, it needs to be more than one hut, and like some form of population that isn't just Pokemon and one homeopath. Unfortunately.
One person, maybe. A homeopath, though. That's less than a person.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So anyway, the balloon floats over the village, lands right beside him, and apparently it's called Jesse Stadium, which is coming out to an N64 near you. But James disputes it, saying like, "Well, no, it's my idea." So a vacuum hose appears and starts sucking the village away, with Team Rocket inviting them in.
Is this the same vacuum hose as the Cerulean Gym?
I'd like to think
Imagine
so.
yeah.
I mean, they'd have to recycle that. Like that's an awful lot of fucking gear to leave behind in the gym, you know. I mean, at least salvage maybe the ship idea didn't work, but the vacuum hose, that did definitely work. You know, so they're going back to the blueprints. Okay, where else can we put a vacuum hose? Inflatable stadium, there we go. I can't see anything bad happening there.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. The Avengers did it, we can do it.
Just there going, what? What do you mean back pressure? What are you talking about? Anyway, so Staryu is the first to get pulled in, but Ash saves it. Brock beckoning them back into the cabin. Misty tries to save Oddish, but gets picked up. And a pair of vines saves Oddish from being sucked in, which obviously belonged to Bulbasaur, because it's the only capable one here. So Ash passes Staryu off to Misty, and it helps. And Ash then helps Bulbasaur along because it's starting to get pulled in. So it just pushes like Bulbasaur, coaxing it into the cabin, and they successfully do so. They all survive, which is great. So Team Rocket curses Ash for always ruining their plans. To which I say, get better plans. But they say he's no match for their super vacuum, because that's clearly what an inflatable stadium with a hose is.
Yeah.
Super vacuum. I mean, have all the air to work with now, you know?
And like they even have like a choreographed cheer going.
Yeah.
With like fans and it's foolproof.
Yeah. I don't see how this didn't work.
Yeah.
The hose is now targeting the cabin as Team Rocket cheerleaded themselves, as you just said. The cabin is rocking as Bulbasaur appears on the roof and shoots two veins to swat the hose away. Like, it's actually the vines kind of acted like fists. It just like punched the fucking hose away, which I kind of found funny. Ash pops out from the door and sends out Pidgeotto, which sends out one gust. And that one gust...
but we were forgetting Bulbasaur also has Gust.
Okay, so we probably didn't see that.
Yeah. I think it's just off camera he's using Gust.
Yeah.
Or Whirlwind.
Yeah, we don't... Razor Wind, clearly.
Yeah.
It was actually... No, it was the Razor Leaf, just not with the razor or leaf part, you know. It was the prototype for it. He sent out Pidgeotto, sent out a Gust. The Gust then with the suction pipe, I don't know how this works, generates a tornado and basically starts sweeping them away.
It's basic physics, John.
It's clear, yeah. It's scientific fact, despite no evidence backing it up. So James's overconfidence is outnumbered by Jesse and Meowth's impending sense of doom, and they get swept away along with their inflatable stadium.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is where we jump in, ladies and gentlemen, because it's time for us to discuss what should Rocket do. So, the scenario this time...
I'm going to jump in.
Go for it.
Yeah. Rocket should just leave the Pokemon with Melanie because they are already part of Team Rocket because she is an operative for Team Rocket. That's it. Like, she clearly works for Team Rocket. Clearly. So they should just leave the Pokemon with her because they are already part of Team Rocket's roster.
So essentially your plan was to basically get better intel from HQ.
Yeah.
To actually go back to the Still Company and go, is that girl out in the... Yes.
One
this
of
is the
ours.
second time I've told you this. It's like, okay.
She
It
tried
was
to tell
in your
you
onboarding
herself.
document.
Yeah. Do you not read the briefing notes? There's briefing notes? Oh, for fuck's sake. So yeah, the full scenario.
It's on Yode's chain.
Exactly.
If injured, if found, please return to Melanie in the hidden village.
That's good. I like that. But the actual scenario is Team Rocket have located a village dedicated to the rehab of sick and abandoned Pokemon. That is clearly, sponsored by a Team Rocket themselves, just in the fine print somewhere. They know that Ash and company have gone there and have been instructed not to catch any Pokemon. There are traps laid all around the area to ward off Pokemon trainers. Mm-hmm. So, Burtbot's kind of laid her cards down on the table fairly quickly. You think, just leave them be. Melanie has got this kind of covered, being a sleeper agent.
Mm-hmm.
James, have you got anything yourself?
Oh, I would generally go more stealthy than show up with air stadium and a hose.
Yes.
I would think either land into the village and basically just kidnap Melanie, pose as the homeopaths themselves.
Yes.
Try to get the word out either from Meowth and their Ekans and Coughing, going around and recruiting anyone possible to, any Pokemon possible to come back to the base.
Yes.
That generally would have been my setup. Would have been to, if you can take her out and take the Bulbasaur out, the rest of them are easy pickings. There's a Weeping Bell there that's doing absolutely nothing the whole episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Oddish, weak as hell. What other ones have we even seen
Parrot.
that they're not worth worrying over? The only security that you'd have is Bulbasaur and Melanie.
2 Rattatas, which, if you remember, is a core element of my ultimate team.
We did forget about that point, actually. Those 2 Rattata are a big deal. Zapdos not so much, but those 2 Rattata are really the stalwarts of the team, That's what keeps it together.
She fed one of them berries and he's the tank. Because he's fat.
Yes. He's a plump Rattata. He's a Fatata.
Brilliant.
So
never evolved into Faticate.
Yes. That's because of the corner he gets. Now, what I was going to say here was that I was going to use all the pitfall traps to our advantage here, right?
Right.
I want Team Rocket to split up here, right? One of them acts as a lure, or as it were, like a distraction, basically. So, whichever trap is closest to the village, which is presumably the last pitfall, whatever it is, right? Let's just say James is the more incompetent one. James drops in, right? No offense, mate. Drops in. Let's just say he falls on the trap and starts screaming blue murder because, my leg's broken, I'm about to fall in this trap. What the hell? Who's fucking putting pitfalls in this area? I was there just looking for berries. I'm a fucking orthodontist, whatever it is. Right? So everyone just goes, oh wow, this person's in terrible danger. Melanie doesn't know who this person is because I'm working on the assumption that Melanie is not part of Team Rocket.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I know
You're wrong.
It's a risky strategy, I understand, right? I'm just working on face value here, right?
Okay.
So Melanie's distracted,
I think he likes her face. He's like Brock. He's being
He's
blinded.
in love.
Because if you're going to paint me as Brock in the situation, it does not go well for you, Burtbot. So just don't poke that bear. But so I'd say Melanie then again is distracted. Then at that point, she goes trying to help out this poor gobshite who's broken his leg in a pitfall trap. All the while, Jessie and Meowth are in the village and just takes what they need.
Yeah.
I think she would just be sadistic enough to leave him there to die.
Again, we are assuming a lot on Melanie's part here, but she did set up a buckety bridge. So
and did she show up to help Ash out of that? Out of any of the things?
No,
that she set up?
she was too busy pouring water on Staryu. That's what it needs. It needs water.
It needs to be more wet.
Everything
gets better when it's wet.
Homeopathy in a
nutshell. So we've got 3 candidates there. I mean, maybe just I'm actually
I'm 100% on Burkbot's side.
Yeah, I'm happy with the sleeper cell, Melanie. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. Again, out of all the conspiracy theories we spoke about Pokemon on various other podcasts, that is not the one I was going to put my colours to. But fuck it.
Here we are.
These are the things we learn when podcasting together. So yes, Melanie checks up on everyone. As Ash says, the wind has been knocked out of them. Boom.
Okay, her cover is still safe.
Yeah, it hasn't been blown apart.
Oh.
Right. Bulbasaur looks happy as Ash is happy to see the village is well protected by Bulbasaur. again, just really like being nice to it now. Thinking like, okay, I wasn't able to bully it into submission. Maybe I can be nice to it instead. You can see how his 10-year-old brain works.
Yep.
Melanie suggests that Bulbasaur would be a great addition to Ash's team, which Ash agrees to. But, didn't actually mean, like, what do you mean, you want me to take it? So yeah, Melanie actually just spells it out for him. Would you like to take this Bulbasaur?
Bulbasaur's consent isn't a factor in this.
Fuck it, Bulbasaur's a mercenary. He'll go wherever he needs to. He's a security guard. Like, they don't have any morals. So Melanie explains what the actual situation is, and that Bulbasaur stayed here to protect the weaker Pokemon, but it has a ceiling. Its bulb won't grow any bigger if it stays here. It's not learning anything. It's not experiencing. So Melanie offers Bulbasaur to Ash, saying it'll be a good companion for him, which is a very nice way of Melanie of saying. Like,
I think she doesn't want to report that. Bulbasaur to go back to Giovanni and report that like she has beaten up his 2 star pupils.
You don't want Danny DeVito to break cover, is what you're saying here. Like, you don't want him to just go like, yeah, she's a bitch. But thanks, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur. Just like back into the bulb he goes like. Misty questions who will protect the Pokemon from trainers. Melanie starts like, kind of justifying it a bit by saying that the Pokemon shouldn't stay here forever. They should move on because it's too safe in the village and they get comfortable and all this shit. So she says it's important for them to go back into the wild because that's where they belong.
Where they can get in more dupes.
Yes, exactly.
And continue the pyramid scheme, which is Team Rocket.
Exactly. Just pump out, just keep like infesting the ecology with Team Rocket Pokemon. Yeah, I see that. She says it's important to go back into the wild because that's where they belong, and they'll hopefully find good trainers like Ash, or better yet, Team Rocket's trainers, whichever one's come first. They'll all be like branded like sheep. They'll have like an R on their side, so like Rocket goes like aha, ding, and like they have special Rocket balls to catch like branded Pokemon. Yeah. It's a good fucking scheme actually. The more I think about it. Yeah. Look, maybe we should join Team Rocket.
Are we Team Rocket?
Like, we can be Team Rocket.
We could have joined them in Gen 2.
We could have. We had that choice. Yeah. Anyway, so Melanie then starts pleading with Ash to take it because she's saying like she'll still look after the sick Pokemon, and her job isn't over when they leave. It's just like the best part of her job is when they do leave because they're better, like obviously Bulbasaur has a lot more growing to go. So she basically just says, please take it, make it nicer, evolve it, do whatever you want. Bulbasaur then pipes up then to what Melanie is saying and explains it'll join you on one condition: you have to beat it in a Pokemon battle, which is a kind of a nice way for this like staunch like Bulbasaur to go like, I'm gonna have to join this prick who's gonna beat me in a fight. Yeah. As he just throws down a fucking can of beer as he does it. Like, Ash agrees. Misty pleads him to battle instead, but not gonna happen. So Pikachu and Bulbasaur square off, which is when which we switch to battle mode. So starts off by Pikachu running at Bulbasaur, who shoots out vines, which Pikachu dodges. We'll assume that to be a Vine Whip. However, it doesn't dodge the tackle Bulbasaur hits along with the second one. So Bulbasaur's got 2 tackles in here. Pikachu quickly recovers and returns it with a tackle of its own, which sends Bulbasaur flying. We can assume that to be a critical hit. Bulbasaur hits Pikachu with a Vine Whip as Ash tells Pikachu to use Thunderbolt, which shocks Bulbasaur from the vines down. Because vines conduct electricity or something. Yeah. I think the animators may confuse vines for wires. Yeah. Anyway, Bulbasaur is torched as Ash throws a Pokeball and catches Bulbasaur itself. So a fairly quick battle. And essentially the maths does kind of work out in their favour here because Ash did call for a Thunderbolt, which means Pikachu is a level 26 in this situation, at least.
No, would that have one-shotted the Bulbasaur?
Probably.
But they already got a tackle in as well.
Yes. Here's the thing.
I think he might have killed the Bulbasaur.
Probably did, yeah. Like the Thunderbolt, okay. Like,
good thing he has a homeopathist right next to him.
Just there sprinkling some water. See, he's got 1 HP.
Just throw him in the water. He'll be fine.
So, we get the Thunderbolt is kind of a dead giveaway in that situation. Like, Pikachu will win this all round just because like it's literally doubling the levels. Because we reckon Bulbasaur is about level 13 solely because
I don't know. Like, when does Bulbasaur usually learn Gust?
It doesn't.
Oh, see, that's throwing me off.
It's throwing a lot of people off. Is the thing. It's blown you off course, perhaps. So So yeah, we think Bulbasaur is level 13 with Divine Whip and Tackle.
Yeah.
And it hasn't learned something like Leech Seed or Razor Leaf or anything like that. So
it's really close to evolving.
Yes.
How many episodes before we get to...
oh, funny you should mention that, James. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pikachu would win this all round just because of the level advantage. Like it's literally twice the levels of Bulbasaur. It's got this, so we don't even need to discuss it. So we're nearly at the end of the episode. Melanie says goodbye to Bulbasaur when the battle ends. Ash promises to take care of it. Brock then pipes up and volunteers to stay and help her look after the Pokemon. I'll be your Bulbasaur. But Melanie thanks him for the offer, but doesn't want to keep him from his adventures. And Brock goes, "Yeah, boy, I'd hate to have missed out on these adventures that I'm having."
All this near-death experience that my friends don't even care about.
They all leave as Ash promises that Bulbasaur will see his friends again once they're healthy again in combat, or against Team Rocket, whichever comes first. Brock disappointingly sighs as Misty appears to poke the bear again. Brock covers her mouth and tells her to stop with the stupid questions embarrassing her. Ash is confused as Bulbasaur looks uncurious, as we presume Brock suffocates Misty for speaking out again. As the episode ends on a happy, jovial note.
Yes.
On horrendous cartoon violence against women. So that leaves us then to consult our Pokedex.
Yeah.
And a little bit of work on this one, lads. We have 3 new sites and 1 caught. You'd be shocked to hear the one that was caught was Bulbasaur. But first we're going to talk about Oddish, which is the first one we saw on screen. So Oddish is like, obviously it's meant to be like a bulb, like it's you know, that's the whole point of it there. It's a fairly common like Pokemon, I guess. It's like one of your nice generic like basic ones that you want to catch and evolve and kind of make use of in your game. It's basically meant to be a radish. Is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But the actual thing it's based on is a mandrake. That's the actual like look of it there.
Oh.
So yeah, it does kind of flower up as well. So you'll see that a bit more with Vileplume and Gloom.
Yeah.
But the actual shape of the mandrake is what is
Which
what
I
it's
didn't
based
think
on.
were real because they're in Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
Yeah. So that's basically it. Fun fact, actually, in some of the other Dex entries, Oddish actually has a full name, like a Latin name, which is Odium Wondrous, which is kind of odd.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Odd Wanderer.
Yeah, pretty much. The only other one that does have like an actual scientific name is Kabutops, which is called Kabutos Maximus. Which I don't like. What does that mean?
They should all have scientific names, like fake scientific names, just to make the nerdiers nerd out more.
Exactly. I don't think we're qualified for that. We never learned.
We're not
that.
qualified nerds.
We're not qualified for Latin. You know, we're qualified science nerds, but science nerds don't do Latin. At least not the ones I know.
No.
So yeah, that's it's all about Oddish. We will be actually talking more about it. Although, fun fact, the Japanese name for it actually means enigmatic grass. So, because it's the closest they can get to Oddish, I guess.
Oh.
So that's where the Japanese name comes from. So yeah, that's about it on that one. So moving on then to the first Pokemon in the Pokedex, lads. Bulbasaur.
Number 0001. No.
001.
We haven't gotten that far into the games yet.
Yes, exactly. Let's not master that. Bulbasaur is one of the more prominent Pokemon. I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
Again, we'll ask this kind of question here. Like, where would you rank Bulbasaur in the starters? What is it? Do you like it?
It's probably the worst of a great bunch.
Okay.
Would probably be how I'd feel on it, because red and blue, you probably would have defaulted either going for Charmander or Squirtle off of that, just off the color, off the colours alone. And it's either you'll have a fucking dragon, a tank turtle, or a, what would you call Venusaur?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because I've always kind of find it very difficult to classify Bulbasaur.
A plant or an animal? Researchers are still debating it.
Yes, they are still debating it to this day.
Yep.
But animal-wise, it's supposed to be a frog.
Yeah.
Which is why the Saur kind of throws things off a bit, because it's kind of the thought like with the dinosaur thing, but it's actually the actual shape of Bulbasaur is a frog.
If you see the in Let's Go, you can see Venusaur jumping around behind you, and he jumps like a frog.
Yes, he has the
Which
back legs.
It's
Yeah,
bizarre.
isn't it? It is bizarre even. Yeah,
But yeah, no, I would have said it's the worst of a great bunch because the other two are so iconic. It just about trails behind.
I will say, as a kid growing up, I had yellow, and when I had to make a decision as to what, when you're asking these questions or you're trading the cards or whatever, Bulbasaur was one of the cards I didn't have, so I always wanted it.
Yeah.
And I really like Bulbasaur. As I've grown up though, Squirtle was always my favourite. Always my favourite. I was always Squirtle, always picked a water starter.
Okay, Misty.
I don't know. No.
We'll dye our hair purple in 2 episodes. Time.
Yeah.
But in the Build-A-Bear, they have you can get the 3 starters, and the only one I don't have is Bulbasaur, which I think kind of is a subconscious thing in
it's
itself.
a blind spot a little bit.
Yeah. Where I'd rather have quicker spent my money on the other 2 than that.
Interesting. We're learning so much about you today.
Yeah. Maybe I'm learning about myself.
Exactly. So in terms of the bulb, then, so we think the animal is oriented about frogs, right?
Yeah.
But the actual bulb is supposed to be a kind of people think it's meant to be like a lily or an onion, just based off the shape of the bulb as well. So it is basically just a frog with a lily on its back, as opposed to like a frog. Like, you can kind of see where the actual design from it came from, because you think like you have a lily pad and frog, so then turn upside down, you have a frog with a lily on top of it instead.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting that way. Fun fact, by the way, Bulbasaur was the inspiration for the naming of a genus of dicotyledonous plants, which is called Bulbasaurus.
Ooh.
Yeah, and there it is.
Nerds.
Yeah, I know, right? There it is. There, look. It's the actual. It means bulbous reptile, and it looks like it wasn't a plant. Sorry, what am I talking about? It was a genus of basically a skull, of a holotype skull, and they call it Bulbasaurus because of the. Basically.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It has a dinosaur named out. It's gone back up to the top of my rankings, and I need to go to Build-A-Bear.
Okay, so is there a dinosaur named after a Squirtle?
Well, we will know in 2 episodes' time. But yeah, like it's kind of neat like that, because again, it's like, is it meant? I guess it's the dinosaur, but it's like it's one of those ones where it could be anything.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
It's just like such a general design, and I think like it goes from like frog to like a form of reptile. Yeah. So I think that's the whole point of it. So that's basically on that one. Again, Bulbasaur, one of the classics, never to be forgotten. And like it gets like it's a Generation 1 starter, so it gets like brought out every new game, going like, here, we've done something with this.
Yeah.
We know you do it every time. Leave it alone. The last one that we're going to talk about is Paris, because we did actually officially spot that. I know it was in Mount Moon.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it was in Mount Moon, but Ash kind of interacted with Paris more on this one. So we're going to count it on this one. And you'll be shocked to hear it's based on parasites, right? So you might think that Paris is actually supposed to be the kind of crab-like creature, but obviously the parasite is actually the mushrooms.
Yes.
Which is a thing that actually happens.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking creepy.
Yeah.
This is perhaps one of the creepier Pokemon, because it's like, in a way, like it's not intended to, but you can see where they got the idea from, because essentially and it even says in the Dex entry that the actual mushrooms are growing on its back and it grows bigger, and once it grows too big, it evolves into Parasect. That's the whole idea. But what's really actually happening is that the mushroom is the parasite,
and it's taking over the host's body.
Yeah.
Yes. And in nature, what happens is, if you get infected with the fungus, if you're the animal, basically you're kind of running away scrambling, and what actually happens is the fungus grows into your brainstem.
I've seen the videos of that with ants.
Yes,
and it is so creepy.
It is.
Parasitic wasps as well.
Oh god.
Like wasps sting, and then they inject their larvae into the insect or animal.
Oh great, now I need to be more terrified of wasps.
Yeah, and they actually bloat out as well. Like, so The Last of Us and the clickers.
Yes.
That was designed for those monsters as well, was because that set of fungus kind of basically expanded, bloat out like that, with like with like ants and various different insects. So that was how they got that. And that's how basically fungus generally operate anyway. So it's a pretty fucked up Pokemon when you do look into it, really. And yeah, like the actual, as you can see there, they have various different terms of what the actual what it's supposed to be. So the fungus on it is is identified as a basically Tuchicasso, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically a rare type of parasitic mushroom, and that's what it's actually called in canon. That's the name of the mushroom,
Right.
which is kind of odd. Like I kind of find that odd in a way. Like they actually that's
Oddish.
yeah, it is actually kind of oddish in a way, because you don't really know what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny in that way, because that's how it gets its typing as well. Because the creature Paris is the bug, but the mushroom is the grass. So
Yeah.
that's how it gets bug grass.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There's a bit of a logic
Yeah.
to it too, you know. So yeah, pretty fucked up. But let's ignore it for now. But if you're wondering what the Paris creature is meant to be, it's a cicada bug, which is this chappy here, and we're seeing on screen. So it's basically one of them, and you'll notice that it's supposed to be. If you remember Generation 3 having Nincada, same creature.
Right. Okay.
So they're the same
All
family.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're the same thing, except one has been infected by fungus.
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
Mm.
Manner of speaking. And yeah, that's basically it. It's one of those few Pokemon as well that is always the same, is rarely untranslated. So in every other language, in every other game, it's just called Paris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of it's unusual. Even in French, they still call it Paris.
Paris.
Paris. We'll always have Paris.
Fuck off.
Yeah, that's not. So yes, the current Pokédex count is at 32 seen
Okay.
Yeah.
and 6 caught.
He's got a full belt.
Yes. Well, he's got a full team now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he doesn't actually.
He doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Because just Butterfree has inflated the numbers so much.
Yeah. Butterfree is half his team.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Ash. Get your shit together. Anyway, so that's the end of this episode, guys. The Bulbasaur one is in the books. So that leaves us then
Happy,
with Charmander next week.
That'll
Fantastic.
be less of a breeze.
Yes, it's going to be quite a heated episode, I think it's fair to say. So until then, guys, thank you very much for listening to this. Check us out on the Lobos Network for our previous episodes. Check us out if you want to watch the video format, which we don't have any video to. But you can see my fantastically made graphic if you want on the Nerds of Us channel. And follow us on Monday Madness you'll find out more about all the hot content we put out every single day.
Absolutely.
Nice and hot.
Nice and hot.
It's the Charmander episode next. That and it'll make more
Yeah.
sense to leave that until then.
Okay.
Yes, we got Danny DeVito into the Bulbasaur episode. Your next job for next week is getting Christopher Walken into the Charmander episode.
Ooh.
I mean, we're already a few episodes in. We have to get the celebrities in now. That's how it works. Get Stern. So, until then, folks, we'll see you on the next episode of the Ginny Phil Donut podcast. Until then.
See yous.
Toodaloo.